And current affairs has been rigged in favor of Owino, who's been the chair for now the fourth term. Security officers were deployed throughout the CBD as police engaged the students in running battles. Dramatic scenes there from the University of Nairobi. Of course, our reporter Gordon Odhiambo is live at the University of Nairobi bringing us an update. Gordon, what can you tell us?
Currently, Machira, we are at the University of Nairobi where students are on rampage. Things are not well per se because they've destroyed a number of things in the university. The Sonu office is already destroyed and they even banned the office itself. But as they were doing the banning thing, the police and the firefighters came in and salvaged the situation. So currently, things are a bit calm, but the students have vowed to continue striking till such a time Babu Owino will leave office. They say Babu Owino was rigged in by those who are in charge of the elections.
And Gordon, if I could ask, is Babu Owino anywhere within sight? I mean, if all this fracas has been caused because of his election, has he said anything about it?
Babu Owino is nowhere to be seen since this strike began. Strike, you can say, began the way back. That was yesterday. Even before the elections were held, there were strikes. There were students who are calling on the administration not to allow Babu Owino to rig the elections. So up to now, they are saying, if at all they want the elections validly, let him come and address them. But they vow not to let anything to chance. Till such a time, Babu Owino himself will come and say, it's now time to vacate and leave this office for that person who they feel was legitimately elected by the students.
And Gordon, have you managed to speak to any representative from the university? What do they plan on doing about these elections? Will they redo them? Will they contain the situation? Have you managed to speak to anyone?
The administration has given us a wide berth since we arrived here. We've been trying to look for them. Nobody's willing to talk to us. We can remember by yesterday, the administration said the elections were free and fair, and therefore they don't expect anything apart from calm situations and examinations going on, because you remember today exams were to begin, but now they've been suspended. The administration told the press yesterday that these elections were validly carried out and whoever was declared the winner, who is Babu Owino, was validly elected, contrary to what the students are now telling us.
All right, our reporter Gordon Odhiambo there at the University of Nairobi, where students are on a rampage destroying property over the disputed Sonu elections that declared Babu Owino the winner for the fourth time round. All right, let's move on to the National Police Service, where the chairman, Johnston Kavulundi, has reiterated that the 2/3 gender rule will be applied in the police recruitment exercise that launched today. Now, this is after the National Commission on Human Rights raised concerns over the application of the gender rule in Kandui and Bumula in Western Kenya. Brenda Cheriot reports.
At the 64 Stadium in Eldoret, Uasin Gishu County, hundreds of youth turned up for the police recruitment exercise, each eager to meet the requirements set by the National Police Service Commission, NPSC. More than 300 youth who arrived at the stadium lined up for the physical fitness test as others submitted their details for registration. With NPSC planning to recruit 10,000 officers to secure the country, the Commission has put in place mechanisms to ensure that this time round, the exercise is not marred by allegations of corruption. On Sunday, a man was arrested in Nairobi County after defrauding a family 50,000 shillings with a promise of ensuring their son is enlisted in the service. Inspector General of Police Joseph Boynet sent a statement calling on the public to be vigilant and report any malpractices through toll-free numbers 999, 911 and 112. Even as NPSC steps at the integrity of the police exercise, the Kenya National Commission Human Rights Council has put up monitors at 120 centers out of the designated 292 recruitment centers in the 47 counties to protect Kenyans from corrupt individuals. Brenda Cheriot, K24 Newscut.
And over in Nakuru, hundreds of youth converged to launch new projects to empower the youth economically in order for them to contribute to good governance of the country. The Kenya Hustlers Welfare Association held a Nakuru chapter mini convention yesterday in Nakuru, where they unveiled their new development project for its members that aims at uplifting the living standards of its members. Chairman John Chacha introduced the Kehua Sacco, a new initiative that aims to help the members save and get loans to start businesses with minimum interest rates. According to the association's chairman, Kehua is a part of a group of Kenyan hustlers with a common belief in the empowerment and a good governance for a peaceful coexistence in Kenya. Its main objective is to empower all Kenyans economically, irrespective of their tribe, religion, or political affiliation, in order to participate objectively to development the country.
Na pia Kenya moja tunaweza kukemea vituko ama vitendo ambavyo tunaziona kutoka kwa viongozi wetu. Kama juzi kitendo ambacho kilifanyika maeneo ya bunge, hatukufurahishwa. Kehua iko na kabila zote 47. Na hata leo kitu tunasema, viongozi kuweni mfano ama kielelezo cha jamii.
Utawezaje kuzuia noma ama kuzuia ghasia kama wale ambao wanastahili kuwa hawafanyi hizo ghasia hawana ajira? Tukaona kwamba lazima tuende kiwango kingine. Tusikue tunasema tu kwa mitandao yetu, zuia ghasia, zuia noma. Itakuwa ni bure. Kwanza mwanzo mpatie huyu jamaa ajira. Ndio maana ajue kwamba mimi nisipoenda kazini ama nikianza kuharibu mali, hata mimi mali yangu itaharibikia pale.
The Kapenguria MP Samuel Moroto visited Chepchoina's quarters to cool down the escalating land conflict between squatters and security agents. Over 1,000 squatters met at Katikomo border, where they regrouped to chat over the ultimatum to vacate their land at Chepchoina Phase 2.
It is at this public baraza in Pokot where squatters vented their anger at security agencies over alleged mistreatment and said they will not be cowed by any form of intimidation.
OSPD na dio ambaye amekuja juzi hapa wametuambia tuame hapa, na sisi si ati tunatoka wapi, tunaishi hapa. Tunataka kujua tukitolea hapa tunaenda wapi.
The squatters held demonstrations to protest against last week's eviction attempt by General Service Unit personnel.
Kaiseri amemangangana sana na pombe na mambo ingine kwa Kenya mzima. Waje narrow down aje aone amorphous DCs ambayo mtu anakuja kwa shamba na uniform ya serikali. Na tena hii police station ilifanya hapa.
Okoa sisi.
Serwet.
Moto ndio hii imeanza.
Kenauma.
Inafikanga wakati ya kulima moto naanza kuwaka.
Taka nama namgia lengo lisegero kichuma.
Angalia hiyo maneno kabisa.
People should not misuse our courts. Court imetoa order. Wewe ukienda polepole na mimi yule mchokozi nakimbia mpio kwa askari kuripoti. Mimi ndio atakuwa mtu wa haki. Yule ambaye mwenye alikosewa ndio atakuwa mtu mchokozi.
They are now calling for the intervention of the Interior Cabinet Secretary Joseph Nkaiseri to quell rising tensions that are now threatening to escalate into clashes.
Elsewhere, a church service at the IDPCEA church in Madera Nyeri County failed to take off after a section of the congregation refused to allow normal church service to take place in the sanctuary, accusing the church elders of plotting to grab a piece of land set aside for the community health center. The defiant church members have vowed to deliberately skip the worship services until the matter is resolved.
Outside Thaithi PCA Church in Madera Nyeri County, a church service goes on under the trees. The church doors where the congregation normally conducts their services in, and a lock and key, a clear sign that all is not well.
Tulipewa shamba na shule, wakati tulipewa iliambiwa igawanywe mara mbili. Dispensary ya public na pastor's house. Sasa venye kulienda hawa wazee wa kanisa walienda huko kwa lad wakageuza chamba yote ikakuwa yao, na sasa sisi tunafuata ile ya dispensary juu tunataka watupatie ile ya dispensary alafu wabaki na hiyo ya pastor's house.
The congregation is not only busy expressing its faith in God, but also publicly expressing its displeasure.
Kulingana na wakaaji wa Thaithi ndio wanataka wapewe maternity home na dispensary iwe inafaidi kila mtu yeyote ametoka Thaithi. Na tumesikitika sana kuona kanisa yenyewe ikistaki members na wenyeji wale wanakuja kuomba kwa hiyo kanisa wakikataa kutupe hiyo uwanja ya vile tuliagana.
This congregation, some of whom were carrying placards, demanded that the matter be addressed before normalcy can resume. The church members have vowed to stop the elders in tracks. Nelson Ogalo, K24 Newscut.
Right, back to Nairobi, where the Kenya Wildlife Service Director, Kitili Mbathi, has today launched the loading of illegal ivory into containers awaiting transportation to the burning site at the Nairobi National Park, where President Uhuru Kenyatta is expected to officiate. 106 tons of ivory will be destroyed at the park on the 30th of April. Our reporter Dan Kaburu joins us on the phone with some updates. Dan, what can you tell us?
Okay, we are at Nairobi National Park, where the loading of ivory is still ongoing. The ivory is being loaded into containers ready for transportation to the place where it will be burned. The function will take place here at Nairobi National Park on 30th, and President Uhuru Kenyatta is expected to lead the burning.
And Dan, if you could just give us an approximate figure, how many containers are there, or how many pieces of ivory? What's the situation looking like?
Okay, here at Nairobi National Park, we are going to load 80 tons and into 9 containers. The process of loading is taking place each day, one container. So today they are doing the first container, so it will take place all the way for 9 days, and that's how it is at the moment.
And Dan, why do they want to destroy this ivory?
Okay, the reason why they want to destroy ivory, number one, is because of discouraging poaching and illegal trade of ivory.
All right, our reporter Dan Kaburu there at the KWS meeting, where Kitili Mbathi, the Director General of KWS, has launched the process of burning a stockpile of ivory in order to discourage poaching. All right, let's move forward to Laikipia, where a well-known businessman come politician from Nyandarua County has lost his life in a road accident along the Makuyu-Sagana Highway. Now, Bernard Ndungu, who had expressed interest in the Laikipia East parliamentary seat, is said to have lost control of his vehicle and rolled several times. The Makuyu Traffic Police Department says Ndungu, who was alone in the car at the time of the accident, sustained serious head injuries and died at the Thika Level 5 hospital, where he was undergoing treatment. Now, the wreckage has been transferred to Makuyu Police Station for inspection in order to determine the cause of the accident. Right, let's move over to matters of politics now, where Kakamega Senator Dr. Bonnie Halwale has come out to downplay reports of discord within the coalition for reforms and democracy following the chaotic scenes witnessed during Bungoma Senator Moses Wetangula's presidential bid, accusing Governor Wycliffe Oparanya of being behind the mayhem. He said the governor plotted the disruption owing to fears that he will be voted out in 2017, further insisting that he would beat him in the upcoming elections. Halwale at this same time assured CORD leader Raila Odinga of their support in Western Kenya during the 2017 polls.
The failure of CORD leader Raila Odinga to show up for the March High presidential bid launch by Bungoma Senator Moses Wetangula at Kakamega's Muliro Gardens marked a new low for the coalition, fueling speculation that all may not be well. Odinga's absence has lent credence to assertions that there was discord in CORD over supremacy contests over who will be its flag bearer in next year's polls, even as the committee constituted to do so is still working on the modalities. But if the sentiments of legislators allied to the party are anything to go by, the constituent parties of CORD want an equal share of the cake and are demanding to be recognized.
Usipigie Jubilee kura. Kura ni ya CORD. Na ndani ya CORD Wetangula wetu yuko. Na ukiwa katika CORD lazima uwe katika CORD kimpango. Ukiingia CORD bila mpango utapangwa.
We are shareholders in CORD. Sisi hapana flower girls, na tunaambia Wiper pamoja na ODM na Ford Kenya tufanyie kazi pamoja na tuheshimiane, si ndio?
The statements by the leaders seem to point at a possibility of Ford Kenya attempting to stamp authority in Western Kenya, even as the Orange Democratic Movement attempts to make inroads. But for Wetangula, who's been caught up in the latest controversy, campaigns have begun in earnest.
Mimi sitaki kulaaniwa. Mimi si kama wale wengine wanajaribu na kurudi nyuma. Mimi nikikulenga lazima unipe nafasi.
Chamuta Agoin, K24 Newscut.
Let's move over to matters environmental. Kenya is one of the most beautiful countries in the world, with its flora and fauna attracting millions of people from different countries every year. In Meru County, one forest is increasingly drawing thousands of tourists due to one special tree, which locals refer to as King Muru. Now, the tree, which is said to be over 300 years, has special features which make it stand out above the rest. Dan Kaburu visited the area and tells us more about King Muru.
The immense South Forest. Dominating the deep within the forest is a tree, which locals speak intimately about. We set out on a mission to seek this tree, which the locals refer to as King Muru. The huge, majestic king of oak trees dominates all trees around it. The space in this tree can accommodate up to 20 people comfortably. Come with me. We ventured inside the tree through this entrance. Unlike other trees, it's hollow and dark. We asked one of the locals to point his flashlight up the tree so that we can get a better look. Strangely, the tree is hollow all the way to the branches. Some of the openings on its trunk act as windows to allow light inside. We are told that King Muru has dominated this forest for more than 300 years now.
Kwa vile hii miti ni miti ya kuunduma, hata tukiingia ndani saa hii tunaweza hata kupikia chakula huko. Tunaweza kupika chakula tunakula.
Locals allege that King Muru was once a haven for criminals.
Naifurahia sababu hata iko wakati wengine hata waisi walikuwa wanaiva mifugo huko kwetu, wanakimbia wanajificha, alafu akinangemu wa kutusaidia kuwafukuza pale, ikawa ni mtu wa kusoma history.
The tree attracts many tourists from across the world, and locals hope that the tourism sector can take advantage of its popularity and market the region.
Serikali inaweza hata kujengea hii miti compound. Watu wakitoka mahali wanatoka, hiyo inaletea serikali pesa.
The presence of the tree and the fact that it has been here for all that long indicates the need to conserve the environment. Dan Kaburu, K24, Meru County.
Well, it's a wrap, folks, from the team here at K24 Newscut. Again, I'm Sharon Machira, but do stay tuned for more news coverage from our subsequent bulletins. And of course, I'll hand you over to Maya Hayakawa for Inside Business.